Now let's delve a little bit deeper into decentralized exchanges. There are two main types: order book decentralized exchanges and liquidity pool decentralized exchanges. Order book decentralized exchanges are exactly what you would expect and very similar to many of the centralized exchanges you may already be familiar with. Examples of these include Switch.io, Nash, Sologenic, and the XRP ledger itself. They are based on users placing an order which represents a trade someone wishes to make. People can put orders to buy and people can put orders to sell. As more people place orders, the spread is reduced, creating better prices for those wishing to trade. In addition, the order book becomes deeper, meaning more liquidity is available. Liquidity is important to allow for bigger transactions without dramatically affecting the price of a given asset. The orders are organized by the software and then matched if a trade is available. For example, if a user wanted to buy a Spark token for $1 and another user wanted to sell Spark token for $1, the software would facilitate this transaction and credit each user accordingly. So now let's talk about the other main type of decentralized exchange, the liquidity pool decentralized exchange. Example of liquidity pool dexes include Uniswap, SushiSwap, 1inch, Kyber Network, and of course, FLR Finance's FLR X. As discussed earlier, an order book decentralized exchange can be considered peer-to-peer. That's two people swapping assets with each other, on-chain. Liquidity pool dexes, however, are not peer-to-peer and can instead be considered peer-to-smart contract. I would now like to introduce you to a new term: Automated Market Makers, or AMM. Automated market makers have changed the decentralized finance game. This is a significant innovation that allows for on-chain trading without the need for an order book. When you're executing a trade on this type of decentralized exchange, you're executing the trade against the liquidity in the liquidity pool. So you may be wondering what a liquidity pool is. Well, it's not a pool of water. A liquidity pool is a bunch of funds deposited into a smart contract by liquidity providers. For example, if you were part of the FLR Finance beta competition, you may have provided liquidity by supplying equal amounts of two different assets. This process interacts with a smart contract, and for providing the liquidity, you will receive a liquidity pool token, or an LP token for short. This represents your contribution to that specific pool. For a buyer to buy in a liquidity pool DEX, there doesn't need to be a seller at that particular moment, like what is required with an order book decentralized exchange. Only sufficient liquidity in the liquidity pool is required. The smart contract will distribute the fees generated from buying and selling the assets to users who are supplying the liquidity. Supplying liquidity for liquidity pools does in fact inherit a risk of impermanence loss, but this is going to be a topic for another day.